Shana Tova. I'm Sue Weinman, KKBE's Ritual Committee Chairperson. Thank you for joining me and my co-host, the famous Bob Novick, for this evening's Month of Elul program, Self-Reflection and Hope, Writing Inspirational Poetry and Prose. So what is the month of Elul and how is it connected to writings? Elul is the Hebrew month that precedes the high holy days of Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur. This month of Elul is a time for self-reflection and introspection and getting your spirit ready for Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur. I'm going to share something with you now, if I can. Where's the share? Ah, there we go. All right. Okay. All right, what you see up here is the word Elul in Hebrew and in transliteration. And you have the first line of a poem in Hebrew, transliteration, and English. Some say that the Hebrew letters that comprise the word Elul, the Aleph, Lamed, Vav, Lamed, are an acronym for Ani L'Dodi V'Dodi Li, a verse from Song of Songs that means I am my beloved's and my beloved is mine. Many of us have these on our wedding ketubas. Most often interpreted as love poetry between two people, the phrase I am my beloved's and my beloved is mine also reflects the love between God and the Jewish people, especially at this season. As we assess our actions and behaviors during the past year and our hope for blessings in the coming year. Writing down your thoughts into poetry or prose can accomplish a feeling of calm, an uplifting of spirit, an expression of your deepest feelings, a written memory to keep, a gift to give, a blessing for all, a prayer of hope, shared love. Tonight, we'll be sharing the writings of Rabbi Stephanie Alexander, Rabbi Greg Cantor, poets Bob Novick, Sandra Bergman, Faye Siegel, and myself, who is not a poet. We hope that at the end of our evening together, you'll be inspired to write your own words to share with our KKBE community on our KKBE website. Now, I need to unmute it. Stop share. Okay. So here's the first one. Imagine your parents to two little boys, aged 3 and 1. Your anniversary is coming up and your heart is filled with love. You want to gift your spouse with a new, enhanced memory to be cherished. You remember a moment from 8 years ago. You look through your photo albums and you find it, a picture. A beautiful, quiet, serene, wooded hike that you took with your spouse of 2 years in Nova Scotia. You are beginning your life together as one. Your shared hopes and dreams are awaiting you. And now you have 2 blessings. Kevin and Steve. I knew what my gift to Jeff was going to be. I took a pen to our photo. The words just spilled out of my heart with no forethought, just feelings. The result? This poem. Which I have to share. I'm not truly adept at this. This is my love, Jeff, as you all know. Thanks, honey. Okay. It was a moment of clarity. This is important to me. This makes me feel whole. And this is the path that we took all those years ago. Silent moments spent thinking of you. Joy, laughter, family, home. No longer silent moments, but moments echoing with the sound of our love. Sue, 1988. Happy anniversary, honey. I'm very happy to share this next writing penned by our own Rabbi Stephanie Alexander. This was shared by Rabbi on Facebook just before we all had to reimagine our Passover Seders this year, as the coronavirus prevented us to physically be together with family and friends in one of our most treasured Jewish holidays, Passover. As you listen, you can also hear how it resonates with us even today for these upcoming high holidays. And here's her writing. As many of us welcome in the festival of Passover tonight, may we hold dear what this holiday is really about. It's not about food, not really. It's not about the matzah that may or may not be kosher for Passover, if we can find any at all. It's not about the brisket that never tastes the same as when mom makes it. It's not about killing ourselves to prepare the same feast as 20 people are able to pull together because everyone brings something. It's not about the table, not really. It's not about using the fancy china or grandma's candlesticks, which are at your sister's house, or the extra chairs that remain ever so empty. It's not even about the Haggadah and knowing all the liturgy and doing every part and singing with confidence that you got either the melody or the words, much less both, right. It is about hope, and it is about freedom, and it's about renewal and rebirth and redemption, and it's about reminding ourselves that we have journeyed from Mitzrayim, narrow, confined places, to open, endless space before us. And it's about the joy that led us to sing on the shores of the sea without a clue about how the rest of our journey would turn out. And the faith that helped us know it would somehow turn out okay. And it's about connecting to our families and communities, whether that was making sure everyone stayed together as we walked through the water, or remembering our loved ones through the wine stains they left in our Haggadot, or laughing as Grandpa tries to figure out both video and sound on Zoom. And it's about setting aside our uncertainty and the questions we just can't answer now and leaving them in a cup for Elijah. And yes, it's about washing our hands too. And if it feels like we're celebrating Passover, our festival of freedom in captivity, then may this year's celebration deepen our empathy and strengthen our resolve to work for those who truly are captive, whose experience of constraint and servitude will not end when stay-at-home orders are lifted. For Passover is also about injustice and the pledge that next year may all be free. Chag Sameach, wishing you a happy, meaningful, and uplifting holiday. This year, each in our own homes. Next year, wherever and with whomever we wish to be. Rabbi Stephanie M. Alexander. Thank you, Rabbi. And now, I'll share two of Rabbi Greg Cantor's writings. Rabbi Greg Cantor has a wonderful family of four, a terrific spouse, and two great children who were adopted. These two prayers, blessings that Rabbi wrote are near and dear to his heart and will continue to be inspirations to and cherished by other families excited to fill their lives with children of their own. They have recently been published in a prayer book. And what are they about? Of course, adoption. The first prayer, adopting a child, prayer for the beginning, the adoption process. Ribono shel olam, sovereign of the universe, May it be your will that I become a parent to a child in need of a loving home. May you grant me this gift so that I might grow my family and share the love of a Jewish home, Jewish traditions, and Torah with a new generation of your people. May I and my future child become links in the ongoing chain of tradition. Make me a worthy parent in your eyes and the eyes of the children I may raise. Grant me patience and understanding as I begin the path to adoption. May my efforts be blessed. May a child in need find love and shelter in my home. May your light shine in my home, and may my love make a family. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu ribon ha'olam, hamechin mitzadei Adam. Blessed are you, Adonai, our God, sovereign of the universe, who guides our steps. And as they wait for a child, and finally, they're able to have a child, Rabbi's second prayer and blessing. Adopting a child, blessing after completing the adoption process. Ribono shel olam, sovereign of the universe, mother and father to us all. May I be like Mordecai, who raised a child to be brave and sensitive. May I be like Pharaoh's daughter, who raised a child whose leadership has served all of humanity. May I be like Naomi, who adopted the son of her daughter-in-law and raised him in anticipation of the coming of a messianic age. Ribono shel olam, sovereign of the universe. Parenthood is a journey fraught with perils and mystery. Help me navigate the rough waters with wisdom, love, and patience. Help me to embody the highest virtues of those who came before me and to pass those qualities along to my child. May my family always be worthy of your Torah and your blessings. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech ha'olam, shehecheyanu, v'kiyamanu, v'higianu, lazman hazeh. Blessed are you, Adonai our God, sovereign of the universe, who enriches our life with new life, sustains us and our families, and brings us to joyous occasions. Rabbi Greg Cantor, written in 2019. Amazing works. Thank you, Rabbi Greg. I now introduce you to Sandra Bergman, a member of our congregation who many of you know, who will be reading her poem, Raise. Sandra, if you unmute yourself.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. This is Raise. Oh, for those wonder years when beauty ruled my life and days were full of adventures that were devoid of worries and strife. The meadows were there for exploring and the hills for rolling down. The footpaths were for following, daydreams along the ground. Butterflies were there for chasing and rainbows for finding the end. Trees for more than just climbing, they were like a constant friend. The flowers bloomed in abundance while the sun gave sparkles and gleams. And I filled up my soul in accordance with the essences of my dreams.
Thank you, Sandra.
Nice.
That was wonderful. Our childhoods. I now introduce you to Faye Siegel, another member of our congregation whom many of you know, who'll be reading her poem, High Holiday Reflections. Faye, if you would unmute yourself, please.
You're unmuted by the host. Okay, thank you.
There you are.
This is called High Holiday Reflections. The high holidays are upon us, and I look inward to reflect. What kind of person have I been? Did I do my very best? Was I loving, kind, and patient, or short-tempered and sometimes curt? Did I embrace my loved ones often, or did I cause them to be hurt? O Father of love and compassion, benevolent and so dear, please hear my vows of contrition and be merciful for another year. Was I optimistic, pleasant, and brave, or overly critical and unkind? Did I express my thoughts sincerely, or only faults in others find? Was I reliable, sensitive, and serene, or at times callous and impolite? Did I reach out to those less fortunate, or dismiss them when out of sight? O Father of love and compassion, benevolent and so dear, please hear my vows of contrition and be merciful for another year. Was I supportive, thoughtful, and calm, or too busy with other things? Did I act with discretion and honesty, or spew words I knew would sting? Was I creative, modest, and helpful, or self-centered, impatient, and sore? Did I express my gratitude and good fortune, or always desire for more? O Father of love and compassion, benevolent and so dear, please hear my vows of contrition and be merciful for another year. Did I foster love and lasting bonds, or was I too self-absorbed to care? Did I support and nurture my family and friends, or was I laissez-faire? Did I sanctify and exalt your name daily for the blessings you have brought? Was I grateful for a healthy body and mind, or neglect them without thought? O Father of love and compassion, benevolent and so dear, please hear my vows of contrition and be merciful for another year. I confess I have fallen short and often missed the mark. I should have seen the sunshine. I focused on the dark. I pray that you will find me worthy to be inscribed in the book of life. I pray the world finds peace and brotherhood, an end to war and strife. O Father of love and compassion, benevolent and so kind, please hear my vows of contrition and be merciful for another year.
Yeah.
Wow. Faith, that was beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, I feel like we need 5 minutes in between each to just immerse ourselves in the writings and the poems. Wow. Oh. Let me compose myself, please. I now introduce you to Bob Novick, a poet and my co-host, another member of our congregation who many of you know, to continue this program and to read several selections of his poetry. Bob, you're up, babe.
Some years ago, listening of my wife, 45 years, brought a 10th dimension to each of our lives in her last 18 months. She became of my caregiving, in which a close in the winter of her last months of life together, this poem was written shortly thereafter. It's called Wind Whispers My Loss. Winter storm brings loss from life's bitter breeze. to a wind-chilled soul in a solitary freeze. Chill mysteriously scratches across my face, up my ears, encouraging a moist sadness behind nerve-bundled tears. Emotions so deep, buried inside, emotions so buried, whisper, being alive. To miss the warmth of my woman, her fire, seasons past, I conjure her vision, her flame moving fast. Winter winds still chill the core of my soul. Ice of grief must melt to fill a lonely hole. Emotions so deep, buried inside, emotions so buried, whisper, being alive. A year later, I started meeting with an extraordinary woman who also experienced a loss. She was warm, intelligent, and insightful. After 3 dates, this poem expressed my feelings for her, and that would be Beth, because she became an uplifting friend, and much later, my wife. It was called Life Reignited. You may have arrived on my loneliest night. You came at a time when my soul searched for light. You could have been a vision from an uncharted flight, like a strange flying object, shining brilliance of light. Your spirit brought glow to my long saddened plight. Your wisdom, your warmth, spread indelible delight. I love to hold your face in my hand, hug your curves, dance embrace to the rhythm at hand. I like who you are. Please don't go away. I bask in your presence, hoping you'll stay. The past number of months have been devastating to the poor, the underserved, and many who have lived in what we might see as distressful conditions. Some have found brightness in the helpful form of a giving lady, one who provided sustenance and hope and a kindness to those in need. The giving lady. The night brings on anxiety under trees near open streets. The homeless wishes peace, some soothing moments of relief. Sleeplessness never seems to end, nor hunger or long rains. To lay outside in wetness shows streaks of human strain. Who emerges from the night into the brightness of each day? Way. Giving lady is inspiring champion of the daily underserved. Her kindness and compassion should be bottled and preserved. This lady is highly remarkable in many heartwarming ways. Should others mirror such positive deeds, the sun will be the brightest of rays. This is only one page from Life's book called Building Character, The Giving Lady. You know, we are all a work in process of hope and change. Many of us were asked in our youth, what do you want to be when you grow up? But what if instead we were asked, who do you want to be when you grow up? You may say, a person of compassion, a person of well-being, and one who has a sense of one's own identity. We all need to be picked up, held gently, and embraced by those who delight in our outreach, and together appreciate the changes we must make for others to provide them with a more beautiful journey through life. Let us become more than a witness. Let us become the human solution, offering outstretched arms to those in need. Writing poetry can often be an expression of feelings and emotions, and possibly bearing witness to so many aspects of life, or the use of one's unlimited imagination. A poem most often speaks to the soul. A poem can be everything you can be, or dream in one singular moment. So we ask you to please write your own thoughts, self-reflection, and hope that inspires you to write your own poetry, prose, blessings, and prayer to share with your KKBE community. Please do. And watch for your KKB email news this week for the link to the temple websites where your poetry and writings will be posted. Please make sure your name is on your written work so that you are credited with your work. And thank you so much for being a part of our poetry reading tonight.
Bob, thank you. Your poetry, it affects me very much. I've heard your other poetry that makes me laugh, and these really are very heartfelt and can make me cry. I want to thank Bob for helping to frame this program out with me, for, of course, your beautiful poetry, Bob, and for being a wonderful co-host this evening. Our thanks to Rabbi Alexander, Rabbi Cantor, Sandra Bergman, Faith Siegel, and Bob for sharing their wonderful written words with us. Thank you all for joining us for this Elul program. And as Bob said, we hope you were inspired tonight to write your own poetry, prose, blessings, prayers, and share them with us on our KKB website. The writings that you heard tonight will also be placed on the website. We thank you all for being with us. Your voices are now, you can unmute yourself and we can talk for the next few minutes.
Well, I thoroughly enjoyed it. Thank you. And I loved your work, Bob. And I
Thank
didn't
you.
know you were a poet amongst us. So, no.
We all
And,
have it within us.
yeah. Very good. Very enlightening. Thank you.
Faye, I cried through your entire poem.
What?
I cried through an entire poem.
Right through the whole program.
Yeah, basically. And Bob, that poem you wrote about Beth, oh my God, it's amazing. I love both poems, but knowing Beth, that made me really, I was failing a little bit.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much.
When Bob and I were talking before the program over this past month, I got to hear a lot of his poetry. And I'm telling you, I laughed and I cried, and I was just very touched by your words. And the poem Raise, Sandra, that was spectacular. It just brought me back to my childhood, and just lovely. And
Thank you.
I felt like I was at shul and doing the vidui. It was really, wow, that was heartfelt.
Do we have a minute or two for one more poem that I've just recently written?
Absolutely. Go ahead, Faye.
Let me go get it. I'll be right back. You'll hear
We hope that, Shayla, I hope that,
Do you want to hear one of my poems recently?
yes,
Okay,
do you have it
easy.
on hand?
Yeah,
Oh, fabulous.
because I remember it all.
Okay.
Oh, the words we can share in silence.
it. Okay, I'm back.
That's the end of it. You go. Because
Words-
there are so many things you can just sit and
Mhm.
go ahead.
Please
I
send
like you.
Shayla.
Oh,
please
no,
send
don't
it
worry about it. I just thought it is such a cute thing that
Oh.
we never realize just by sitting next to someone or listening to someone, we can actually talk to them, but it is in silence, you know. We
Yes.
don't put it in word, and some things you can't put it in the words.
Please share it with us. Go on the I guess KKBE, and there'll be a place for you to send your information.
Yes, go ahead.
Okay. Go ahead, Faye.
Okay, this is heavy. This is where I am right now. It's called resilience. What has brought me from here to there, or from there to here? An empty vessel stained by life, a shell whose fruit has been consumed, an abyss black and deep, a bottomless pit, a creative well that has dried up, a heart that is hollow and scarred, a body that is weak and fractured, an empty space so wide it can't be measured, the death of a soulmate, a confidant and lover, the death of a daughter, still so much life to live, a pandemic so virulent that it can kill with a breath, the isolation of months alone with your thoughts, a vessel filled with life's experiences, a shell that protects the delicious fruit inside, an abyss that reveals the path to healing, a well overflowing with words and art, a heart brimming with joy and happiness, a body that is whole and strong, an empty space filled with abundant love, a pandemic that will not defeat me, the isolation that allows me to reflect on my gratefulness. This is what has brought me from there to here.
Thank you, Faye. We're all sending you hugs and love. Know that. This is what writing can do. We become a community when we share our words and our lives together.
Thank you.
And this will also pass.
Yes.
This will also pass.
Thank you, everyone, for sharing. Maybe we can form a poetry group from the temple.
That would be, actually, that would be lovely. We just need one or two people to be the heads of that. I know Bob has also said he'd love to have something, you know, a poetry group.
On a regular, yeah, I would too, so count me in.
Yeah.
Sounds like we
So,
got two coaches
you know what?
right there.
Talk to that lovely lady right there. Contact Irene, and
You don't have to, it's
maybe
over
between
already.
the two of you, Bob and Faye, you can
you can,
create this. What, hun?
Sue, I think they've been voluntold.
Okay.
Let me show you my
Okay.
high holiday card. Can you see it?
No, hold it up in front of your face.
See?
Yeah, nice.
That's my high holiday card I painted.
Wow.
A happy card.
Very nice.
Well, this has
Okay.
been lovely.
Well, I think tonight has been a lot of emotion and cathartic for many of us. And we hope that you all share your poetry with Temple. We wish you a Zisan New Year, a wonderful New Year, a happy and a healthy and a sweeter New Year. God bless you all.
Thank you, Sue and Bob.
Thank you, Sue, for everything.
Thank
Tova.
Sue
Wonderful
ran
job,
with this.
everyone. Thank you
Bye,
very much.
everybody.
Thank you all.
Happy New Year, everybody. A healthy year ahead.
Happy
Shana
New Year.
Tova.